Visual Arts Instructor, and today I want to talk to you about drawing a portrait. Currently I'm working at NORD doing visual arts at various sites in the city. I'm at Millen Recreational Center, I'm at Tremay Recreational Center, St. Bernard, and Vernon and Brown Recreational Center. But today I want to start off with an introduction to a basic portrait drawing. I'm going to take you step by step on how to do a portrait, a self-portrait. It can be a self-portrait or it can be a portrait of someone you know or you made up. Now, there's these words that we are used to in the arts, and there are elements of the arts, like words like line, shape, color, value, form, texture, and space. These are basic building blocks of art. And there's also 7 principles of art. And words like balance, contrast, emphasis, movement, pattern, rhythm, and unity, which also can deal with harmony and variety. These are also words that helps you describe what you're looking at when you look at a piece of art or a work of art. So today, as I said, we're gonna talk about painting the portrait. And you don't have to be born a natural and how you know, some people say, oh, I draw stick figures. Or I can't draw because, you know, I'm not a natural, I wasn't born an artist. But anyone really, if you just go into these basic steps, you can get a resemblance of someone, you can draw a face. So I look at books like drawing magazines. These magazines are very popular. You could get them at bookstores, you could get them, you know, at magazine racks all over town. And they help you, by looking into these books, they help you find out techniques and steps on how to draw. I mean, if you want to draw portraits, if you want to draw still lifes, if you want to draw landscapes, these books are really valuable when it comes to learning how to draw. So today, I want to show you the simple materials we're using. This is a simple number 2 pencil that we're going to draw with. An eraser, or if you have an eraser on your pencil. This is your basic 8.5 by 11 paper. It could be on copy paper or whatnot, but this is a drawing papers we're going to use today. And I have this tape. This is what I'm going to use to start off drawing my face. Now, some people say, oh, this is not cheating, but this is a good little way. You can find tape if you have a bowl. If you have any circular shape, you can start off by drawing this circle here. It's a perfect circle. And with this circle, it's going to be the beginning of how we're going to build on a face, okay? Now, with this, I took one of these sheets of paper and I folded it in half. What I'm going to do with this paper, I'm going to use it as a ruler. If you have a ruler, that's good, but I don't have a ruler, so you can take a simple paper, fold it in half, and have it become your ruler for the day. Now, what you really want to do when you start a face off, you want to capture the center of the page. So what I'm going to do is line this up, because this paper is a little smaller than the paper that we're drawing on. So I'm going to draw, I want to really try to find the center of the circle that I just drew. And one thing I want you to really notice, that I'm going to draw these lines that we're starting with, I'm going to draw them real light, because that's very important, because we're going to do a lot of erasing. So this is going to be the top of the head that I established here. And what I'm going to do from this circle, I'm going to start drawing the sides of the face. And as you can see, I'm going down both sides from the circle, and then I'm gonna bring this little line in a little more. This is gonna become the jawline. This is gonna be our jawline, and the bottom of the chin, from the top of the head, is the length of the face. So you wanna mark the bottom of the chin and the top of the head. Now, as you can see over here, this is a very cartoonic kind of drawing. But we're gonna draw a realistic portrait. But notice I have an oval shaped head here, and I have hair on top. But that is not realistic. That is something more like a cartoonic version. What I wanna do here now, I'm gonna establish the middle line of this paper. So right here would be the center of our face. And then I'm gonna draw probably 3 more lines. Again, I'm gonna go really light with these lines because we're gonna do a lot of erasing. This is gonna be the line for the nose. This is the line for the lips. So this is our lips line. This is our nose line. And this line will be for the top of the, I would say the top of the nose. And the line that we have here, that was the center of the face, will become our lines for the eyes. Okay. And then we're gonna draw another line that's pretty much in the center of the eye lines and the top of the head line. And this line will be our hairline, the hairline. So that's gonna give it a realistic look, as opposed to this cartoonic look over here. All right, so we've established the top of the head, the hairline, the eye line, the nose line, and the lips line, okay? So, one thing about when you draw eyes are simply football shapes. So it's an oval, and then there's an oval at the bottom. That is simply the shape of eyes. An oval shape at the top, and an oval shape at the bottom. I'm just drawing an example real quick here. It just looks like a football. But if you draw in a pupil of the eyes, it becomes an eye. So that is a simple shape for doing the eye shape. Okay, so on this line, we're gonna establish, this is one eye, this is the other eye. And remember, our faces are symmetrical. We have 2 eyes, we have 2 nostrils, we have 1 lip, we have 2 ears. We're very symmetrical. So you wanna, when you do the shape of the eye, you wanna try and mimic that same shape on the right side as well as the left side. And then you wanna make sure you do the bottom of the shape. So we've established our eyes right there. Now the line that I was talking about would be the nose. I'm thinking that's a little too short. So I'm gonna draw another line. And notice I'm using this as my ruler and I'm lining it up to the edge of the paper. Just so I can make sure I'm making a straight line. That's another trick that I've always learned. So now this is gonna be the bottom of our nose right here. And you can draw, the nose is really an upside down, it's like a U, in other words. That can be the foundation of the nose. And then you wanna go with this U again on the side, on the right side, and a U again on the left side. So now we're forming what the nose may look like. I'm just drawing this in as a nostril for the right side and for the left side. So Now you're seeing we're trying to establish this look of what a real nose might look like, okay? And now I can draw this line going up on the right side and this line going up on the left side. It's according to where you're at, if we're on the right side or left side. Now I want to establish here this line where is the lip. This is not the top of the lip. This will be the bottom of the lip. So the bottom of the lip could go out this way and go out this way. And remember, you can also, with your thumb, use that as little measuring devices. So I say, okay, I want my lip to go as far as my thumb here. So I'm gonna go just this far. This is gonna be the end of my lip on the right side, and this is gonna be the end of my lip on the left side. So we're trying to establish an even balance for the lip as well as for the nose and the eyes. So when you establish the lip, the bottom, you could go up maybe just a little centimeter or so and trying to establish the center of the lip. And you can draw again the top of the lip. So we do have a little, pretty much of a space here between the nose and the lips. So I could bring that up a little bit. That's why it's very important to draw very light, because you will be doing a lot of erasing as you go. So now I'm going to connect this top of the lip to the corners of the lips that I made, the lines that I drew. So okay, this part here is going to go straight across on the right side and on the left side. So now we've established the lips right here. Now, one major thing we want to do too, this is the nose line and the eyes line. I'm going to bring this line over here just so I can continue it on this side of the face. From this line, which is the eye line, and what was the nose line, this is going to become where the ears are going to go. So you want to come out just a little bit on both sides, and then this is going to be the bottom of the earlobe. That's the top earlobe, and this is the bottom of the lower earlobe. And then your ears could come out pretty much like that. You want to just stylize it a little bit. As you can see over here, everyone's ears are very different. And that's one thing about when you draw a portrait. Some people have bigger eyes, some people have bigger lips, wider nose, thinner nose. It's up to you how you want to make your portrait look, So, I'm going to go back to this drawing. So we've established both ears, the lip, the nose. The nose, I could erase this, because it's all right to make mistakes, yeah? Because I think this nose is a little too sharp. I'm going to bring this line down just a little tad, just so it couldn't go with the proportions of the face. And that is a key word you want to really remember. Everything is about proportion, where the eyes go, where the nose go. If you want to get a really good portrait of anyone, or one like I said I just made up, it's all about getting the proportions right, okay? So I'm going to draw this nose again, because I lowered the nose a little bit, just so it would make it look more realistic. That's what you really want to establish. It's a realistic approach to drawing the face. Okay, that looks much better. Now, drawing the eyes, some people draw the eyeballs in like this. And that's okay, but that's not realistic. You want to draw your eyeballs in as if this eye has eyelids, We all have eyelids. So instead of drawing a circle inside this shape, I'm going to just draw two lines like this. See, now that makes it look more realistic. One line here, one line here. that looks like eyeballs, you know, inside of the eyes. And then we have another line that's over the eyelids to give it some realism. So I'm gonna go just, you know, really not an inch, but really not that far up from the eye line itself. That gives it a realistic look there. Now I want to establish the hairline, because that's important. Now, you know, again, some people have large foreheads. Some people have a lot of hair that's in the front of their face. So that line, maybe I could bring that line up just a little bit higher. Just, I'm gonna give this person a little more of a forehead. Okay, now, yeah, I think this is better. So now with this line, I'm gonna draw it, bring it over. I'm gonna give this guy a little, you know, crew cut. You know, like I say, it could be someone who has a lot of hair. It's up to you how you wanna draw your person. Okay, then that's our little crew cut. He needs a little haircut here, you know. This is great. So now, you know, any style I want to draw this here, it's up to you. It's up to you, the viewer, the artist who's drawing it. If you want to draw the person with a part in their hair, it's up to you. Again, if you're drawing a female or women, they may have longer hair. So, but we're gonna stick with this. Like, this is a young person here, a little guy that I'm just making up. All right, so as you can see now, I'm starting to draw in some of the details of the face. Now, notice these lines are very straight, and the face kind of looks robotic. So we all have like dimples that goes in right here from our eyes that go out, and we have a jawline, a cheek. We all have strong, some people have very strong, defined cheeks. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna bring this in a little bit, and I'm gonna bring it right back out again, because I wanna define this person's cheeks. So now that becomes a little more realistic. Again, the jawline is a little too hard, too strong. I can soften it by getting rid of some of these lines here. So I have the temple and the jawline on this side. I want to try to establish that on the other side of the face. Okay, now that's our other jawline. So again, you want to make sure it's even. And by just drawing these lines, that helps you, you know, helps guide you if it's even or not. All right, bring it in the face a little bit, and then I could erase some of these lines here. That's why it's very important to draw very light when you start off drawing pretty much anything. If you're drawing still life, if you're drawing a landscape, you always want to start off real light, because you will be erasing a lot of these lines. All right, so I'm getting all of these lines out of the way. All right, there we go. Our person is coming together. Now, I want to start putting in some shadow. And that requires shading. There's also like, you can buy like smudge sticks. Smudge sticks. It's a stick that is just made of cardboard, and you do a lot of rubbing. It creates shadow and shading on your drawings. But you know, the thumb is a good old smudge stick too. So I'm gonna today use my thumb as a smudge stick. Now notice I'm smudging into the hair, and I'm trying to create this kind of volume to make it look like real hair. Now, going into the eyes. Now, where the line was drawn for the eyes, that line also could be the line for the pupil. So you just draw a small circle in the middle of your eyes. That gives it this illusion of a pupil, which becomes like, makes it look more realistic. Then we could draw this, color this in a little bit with the pencil. Okay. And also, we want to definitely, we can't forget about the eyebrows. And so again, some people have thick eyebrows, some people have very thin eyebrows. So I'm gonna give this guy a kind of thick eyebrows on the right side and on the left side. This is, okay, there's a little mess up here. But again, that is a good reason to draw. If you want to draw real light. Okay, we have on the right side, we want to try to establish the same kind of, you don't want one eyebrow, you know, very different from the other. You want them really similar. Okay, so we've established the eyebrows here. Now, with your thumb, again, we could smear into that and create this shadow. And I'm gonna go, as if it's a unibrow, I'm just gonna go along the lines, and I'm now creating some kind of shadow of the face. And with this, I have a lot of this, you know, lead pencil on my thumb. So I can use that also to smear into the face, and that gives it this shadow under the eyes. See, I'm creating the illusion of shadow and shading. I think this side needs to come in a little more. You know, it could give him some like sideburns or whatnot. And this one should come in a little more, so. As you go along the steps, you're gonna keep, you know, looking at and discovering what you need to add and what you need to, you know, delete or eliminate. All right, so we've established some shading and shadows in the face. I think this nose can also have a little shadow, and I'm gonna do a circular, you know, motion here on the nose. And another good thing about your eraser, you can go back into here, and what I'm doing is establishing some little lighting on the face. Because if you do the shadowing of the face, you can do that. You can I can go into this entire face with my thumb and create all this shadow, and then go back into it with my eraser and eliminate some of this shading to give it, you know, to give it that realistic look. That's your main purpose, is to try and have this drawing look very realistic. That is your goal that you want to accomplish. All right, so I have a little shadow going on there. I'm trying to make this one go down here. Again, you want it to look very symmetrical. Now, I'm gonna work on the lips. Now we have, some people have hilly, you know, lips. You have like cracked lips. You have all kinds of lines and details in your lips. So you wanna go on the right side and the left side, and you wanna start bringing these lines going out from the middle line of the lip, okay? Now remember, this line here, our lips, the line, you know, that opens out the mouth, where the mouth goes, doesn't have to be totally straight, because there is a little curvature in our lips, you know, where we actually open our mouths at. So I'm gonna give it a little more curve in there to give it some kind of realistic look there. So you see that I'm being again, thinking about the symmetrical of the face. If you're gonna do it on the right side, you have to also do it on the left side. That is very important. And again, we have lines again at the bottom of our lips. Okay, that gives it a realistic look. And there's always, you know, some people have a cleft in their chin. You know, you can create that if you want. Some people, and then we have this part right here, which is right underneath the lips, that gives it, really defines the top of our chin. Again, this is the bottom of the chin. This is really the beginning of the top of our chin. So you want to establish that. And again, now I'm going to go into it with my thumb to smear out to get that realistic look, okay? It's a little too much. Again, I'll go back into this with my eraser to bring in some light. Okay, there we go. All right, and then the lips now, I can also smudge that a little bit with my thumb. Now see, that looks more realistic if you really look at that, okay? Again, I'm gonna draw some of these lines in, because you may lose a little bit of the line when you smudge it in with your finger. Now, with your thumb. All right, now, there's also this little cleft, oh, what would we call it? I don't know what we call that, but it's what we have, it's what we would have, you know, under our nose and right above our lips. And, you know, some people, the little cleft part right there, they could be very defined. You know, I could have drawn this, a guy, a mustache, a beard, but you know, I want to definitely keep it real simple. So, you want to kind of define that part of the face, because that also gives it a realistic look. Okay, I can smear that out a little bit. Now, so now we really establish the realism of this face, but I want to really bring this guy's eyes out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back into the top eyelid, and I want to make it real darker, make it much darker, than what I have right now. And you know, we all have eyelashes, so you want to draw in the eyelashes. You don't want to forget about all the things, all the different features we have on our face. So I'm gonna draw them some eyelashes. Again, women have longer eyelashes than men, so you know. But this guy, we're gonna go. All right, now giving him some eyelashes. This eye looks a little darker, so I go ahead and darken this side in a little bit. All right. So you see already, the eyes starting to look more realistic. And then, you know, we have lines underneath our eyes. I can establish that right there. And in the corner of our eyeballs, there's this little, make a little corner right there. That gives it a little realism there. And maybe one on this side, a little bit on this side. Okay? Now, I have to also, I want to definitely draw in the neck. So with the neck, you don't want to, you know, bodybuilders or football players, you know, those guys have big, thick necks, you know, wide necks. But this guy, this is just a regular person here, so his neck doesn't have to be way out here. I'm going to bring it in about right here. You know, just a little, not that far from the side of the face there. And I'm trying to do the same on the other side. And your neck could go down, you know, 2 inches or so. And then we could go out, start creating what would be the shoulders. Okay, so I want to establish shoulders on the right side and as well as on the left side. Okay, I think that's kind of even. And you know, we also have the middle of the neck, so you kind of want to create that, the illusion. This is sort of like the throat part of the neck there, so we draw little lines there, give it a little realism. And again, we can smear that, because you definitely want to make like the chin is, you know, protruding further out than the neck. So this strong shadow or shading of the neck will give you the illusion that the chin comes out further. So I'm gonna bring in this line a little better. And all right, see, now it has the illusion of the chin is further than the neck, okay? This is sort of more like in the background. I'm gonna make these ears a little more realistic. give it a little more definitive lines. And that's what it's all about, just making your drawing, really is about just bringing out all the different shadows, all the shading, and like I said, the most important thing is getting your proportions down. It's all about proportions. Maybe I'll give him a little more curly of a hair there, you know? Okay. So this is pretty much the basic building blocks of doing a portrait. And so, you know, I'd say go ahead, get yourself some paper, pencil. If you don't have a ruler, fold the paper in half and think about where, just like I started with, the top of the head. You can get anything that's circular and go ahead and establish a perfect circle. And then from there, start drawing the lines of the face and go step by step with the hairline, the eye line, establishing your nose line and your lip line. And from there, you can build on doing a portrait. Okay, thank you today. Again, my name is Mr. Keith Duncan, and it was great showing you the steps of doing a portrait. Well, next time, I think I want to get into color. So I'm thinking a good watercolor project would be something that we can explore together.